What a way to start it. The dead of winter in one of the great hockey cities in the world. And it's the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Islanders. Great to have you with us tonight. Yaroslav Halak gets the start. He is 21-4-0 in the last 25 games. He is really on a roll, as is his team. And at the other end, we were all expecting to see Carey Price. We see Dustin Tokarski, however, making back-to-back starts for the first time since last year's playoffs.
John Tavares leading the New York Islanders, and it's been a long run for him to get to this point with this franchise, and he's finally got them competing for the playoff spots where he wants to be every year, and they got to go up against maybe the hottest goal scorer in the league, goals in 6 straight, and Max Pacioretty's just trying to get a little help from his team as pretty much everybody else is ice cold.
And away we go, and it's big line against big line. Montreal's top threesome out there, Plekanec, Pacioretty, and Weiss. Against the Islanders, big threesome, Tavares, Bailey, and Oposo. And this is Hamonic coming in, gets it up towards the corner. Chips it up there towards the back of the net, looking for Tavares. Bailey. Oposo, trying to get it out towards the front. He had Tavares there, parked off the edge of the crease. Here's Plekanec. Up ahead for Pacioretty. Hamonic watching him. Pacioretty, Plekanec trying to coach that puck loose. And it gets by Beaulieu, and he'll head back after it. Strome watching him. Strome up, and we're going to have a penalty in the early going. It's going to go against the Islanders.
Ryan Strome to the box as he'll go for a trip in the offensive zone. You get reaching with your stick. Nathan Beaulieu is a pretty good skater. It's going to be hard to catch when you get behind the net. And he just pokes him in the back of the knee, and you're so vulnerable going down easily. And so the Montreal Canadiens head to the power play. Good opportunity to jump on the board early, as the power play has been struggling as of late, other than that one game in Columbus.
Power play is 26th in the league for Montreal. Islanders penalty killing is 27th. So weak specialty teams all around here in this situation. Subban. And this is Gonchar. Desharnais coming up there. Galchenyuk up looking for it. Galchenyuk trying to poke it loose. And that's Hickey. Sends it up around the board. Subban there to keep it in. He's got Gonchar as an option. He's going to slide it down low. Park down in front is Gallagher. This is Desharnais. Gonchar. Subban. Oh, tried to go back over to the weak side quickly for Desharnais. Desharnais slides it down low. Little twist and turn. And no goal. It was pushed in. Referee right there, waving it off.
Obviously, no goal. Gallagher shoving Halak in, but we shouldn't be surprised to see him down and around the crease.
Well, this is right in front of me, guys, and I've got a bird's eye view of this particular play. You want to get off to a good start if you're the Montreal Canadiens. First and second periods, they've got 56 goals combined. Third period, 53. So starts have been slow. And that's the look I have at the goal right in front of me, which has been called off. Right call is made.
Yeah, crowd doesn't like it, but it's the obvious call. You can't pitchfork the goalies as much as we would like to, Glenn. Not allowed. We'll see Brendan Gallagher all over the crease for the rest of the game.
The thing I like about Montreal, though, is some good entries. And when their power play has struggled, they have a hard time getting set up.
This is Pacioretty. Goals in the last 6 games. One-timer, it's good. Subban.
Montreal's power play is designed to run through their defensemen, PK Subban, Andre Markov, and getting PK Subban that shot. First you have to win the draw. Good help by Max Pacioretty, and then get the puck to the guy you want, Thomas Plekanec on the half wall. One good pass, and now Casey Cizikas is in no man's land. Not really blocking the pass, not really blocking the shot. And so PK Subban tees it up just above the top of the circle, posted in, as he had done many times against Yaroslav Halak in practice to give the Habs the early lead.
Shocking that it would go to PK Subban, isn't it?
Well, Frans Nielsen do a better job. One or the other can't stand in between. Puts Casey Ziegler in too tough a spot. You got to take that pass away, let Andrei Markov shoot it.
Yeah, you got to give an assist to Sikac as well, because who's the guy in front of the net? You know, you talked about Gallagher, the shift before on the power play. Well, Sikac is the guy. And in actuality, Halak actually pushes Sikac. He knows that he's in his way and says, hey, get away from my blue paint.
And Grabner gets stuck so low on that press down on Constantine. Now it's a 2-on-1 up top, and you're right, almost caught his foot against Sikac on the lip of the crease.
It's Subban and right off the puck drop, Prust and Martin are going to go at it.
Obviously predetermined. And Matt Martin,
You think?
well, first time on the ice for both of them. Haven't bumped into each other, and both guys trying to get their team going. Reset.
Round 2.
And I tell you what, this will be so tiring. The rest of the period just trying to regain their energy after that long one. And this is what Matt Martin, this fourth line, is supposed to do for the New York Islanders. Get involved physically, whether it's hitting or whether it's fighting. And Matt Martin thinking it's a back-to-back game. We're down 1. Try to get a spark for his squad, and Brandon Prust is happy to oblige him. And they go for a lengthy tussle.
I think Prust is thinking the same thing too. It's 2015 has not been good for him. No goals, so he decides to drop the gloves. And what Martin does well is hitting. You just take a look. First in hitting the past number of years.
Sometimes I debate the validity of those stats. Not with Matt Martin. He absolutely deserves to be the most in the NHL.
Well, Clutterbuck will be joining him. He's on the ice
He's
now.
right there too, yes.
He just bowled someone over, didn't have the puck. Good job.
5 each for fighting, by the way. Habs out to the 1-0 lead. Subban with the goal. Markov and Plekanec with the assists at 1:56. And Galchenyuk pulled down, and play goes offside. Fans were thinking penalty.
So a little bit of line juggling going on for Montreal, and Alex Galchenyuk, who had been playing center and was thought to be a future centerman for Montreal, now goes back to the wing. And Glenn, you might appreciate this, that as a young guy, Michel Therrien went to him this morning and actually talked about where he would prefer to play, where he'd be most comfortable and most confident, and they agreed that he should be down at center.
Subban up to Plekanec. Pacioretty takes off towards the goal. Pass came across there. Pacioretty was looking for it. That was Weiss who fired across from the other side. Opozo pulled down. Tavares. Oh, nice stop by Tokarski. Leddy moved it up. Bailey goes to the front. Opozo as well. And Tavares not able to get it out there. There's Bailey with a shot. Weiss chops at it, not out. Bailey tucks it over. Oh, Pacioretty just failing to click there.
He's got to do a better job getting that where he can handle it without it coming through his skates. Pacioretty is off to the races.
Here's Boychuk. Brought so much to this team since that early season trade. Really changed the dynamic of New York's blue line and their season.
And the big line for New York. 10 points between the three of them last night, including 4 goals for Opozo. And it's John Tavares who gets a chance early on Tokarski, who has to dive across, making that blocker save.
Now we watched a set play off the face-off. One draw, both wingers fly the zone, and who gets the puck in a great spot? Dale Weiss tries to pass Pacioretty. Probably should have shot that because it's a pretty good scoring area. And I guess you got a guy with 7 goals in 6 games. You want to get him an 8. Been all Pacioretty since 2015 rang its bell.
Boychuk up there deep, trying to coax a turnover. William moved it out towards center. And that is going to be an icing call.
On November 15th, 2010, the reins were handed to this guy, Jack Capuani. You know, that's not that long ago, but would you believe he's got the 6th most tenure of any NHL coach? And Romy, I know that's been a pain in your side when you look at NHL coaches with average tenure of 2.5 years. Seems like he's been here forever. But they slowly added pieces through the draft, and now he's got the real deal, a team that he can coach.
Well, just not enough time for guys to do anything. I mean, I guess that's just a function of the job, but name me a successful company that turns over key executives every 2.5 years. You won't. Sakac flips it in. Hamonic. And is tipped in there by Lee. Strome hanging back along the boards. Beaulieu. Ducks it around back. Lee goes after it. And Nielsen looking for it. This is Nielsen. And try to work it towards the slot. Weiss got a stick on it. And Weiss will start back. Comes through with Bournival up to the blue line. And that's broken up by DeHaan. And offside.
Well, since 1986, the New York Islanders, they didn't really hand the reins off to a new coach that often. In fact, Al Arbour and Bill Torrey, they were together for 20 years. You talk about a system that really works. You know, Torrey would draft the players, and at one point, Al would say, he can't play, trade him. But they worked as a group, as a team, and that you don't see in the NHL today.
Desharnais played it back. Puck just tipped in. Gallagher going hard after it. Halak out to play it. Along the boards. Yemelin up there. He was upended. Desharnais. Gallagher was out in the slot. They couldn't get it to him. Clutterbuck. Pocket pick there at the line. Gallagher zipped it up. Well, he was looking for Desharnais. Couldn't quite wheel it in, but he'll go hard after it. Galchenyuk up there in support. Gallagher after it. Galchenyuk hanging down low. Markov thinks about it and almost pulled it off. Markov. Subban. And Plekanec couldn't knock it down. Bailey tried to tip it ahead towards the slot. Tavares was up there. Strange hop there.
Dirty bouncer, and Tokarski almost jumped over his shoulder.
Bailey. Oh, nice job to knock that down. Quickly up ahead. Oposo coming in. Tavares going to the net. Rising shot. Knocked down. And covered up. Canadians up. 1-0. More to come on Hockey Night in Canada.
Mark Gaskin, our entire crew, they are great professionals. Get behind the velvet rope. It's a fun thing to check out how TV is actually made. Paul, back to you.
So that means no swearing tonight.
I've never seen them so calm down there. Must have known the camera was on. They're jumping around.
Yeah, Craig, the director's got a shirt and tie on. My goodness. Special night. Oh, going for the front. Came out Tavares with a little stab at it. Weiss. Pacioretty goes to the net. Oh, my goodness. What a stop by Halak on Pacioretty.
You get a sense of why Max Pacioretty is such an elite goal scorer 5-on-5 as he turns something out of nothing. First, it's a good stick here by Dustin Tokarski, right? Their active stick on a poke check. And watch Pacioretty jumps inside DeHaan, gives Dale Weiss some time, and then beats him to the front of the net to receive a nice feed from Dale Weiss. Tries to go back against the grain before Yaroslav Halak is able to squeeze that one. That's a big save. Don't want to go down 2 here early in the first.
Desharnais gets it back. Yemelin works it across. Wrist shot comes in, and that's just going to skip in, and it's held by Halak.
New York Islanders have had an extraordinarily good season. A lot of their numbers are really nice, but the one that stands out maybe most impressively, when they give up the first goal, and it's really a 3-goal lead, they are 14-4. Not when they score the first. When they give up the first, they are in every game, and they stay in every game.
Resiliency. That's it.
That has not been their trademark over the years.
Nelson in front of the net. Oh, good chance there for Michael Grabner, number 40, who was right on the doorstep. He's got it again here. Gets it out in front. Nelson with a chop at it. And that was turned back. Straight. Clears it up towards the net. Grabner looking for it. And this is Hickey back to pick it up. Kumala. They will flip it in. Islanders in change. Sakac plays it back. Beaulieu. Yemelin. Played up towards the corner. Christian Thomas up there. And Thomas will park off the edge of the crease, waiting for the puck to come down low. Boychuk jumped away from him to clear it up. Got by Thomas there. Back up to him. Here's Thomas. Eller twisting and turning. Thomas is in front. So's Sakach. Strome. And batted there at the line. Leddy knocked it down and cleared it back up. Actually, Leddy blocked it more than anything. Nielsen. Beaulieu. He's going to circle back as the Habs make changes. Galchenyuk. Malhotra to his left. Puck just played in. Galchenyuk was flashing towards the front of the goal. He's got it now. Malhotra shoots. Rebound bounces down. Malhotra up looking for it. Picked up there by Grabner. And he will move it out. Subban. And Malhotra just plays it down in.
He got caught there watching his dump in by Michael Grabner and leaned into Manny Malhotra and gave him a jolt.
Opozo clears it up ahead. Cizikas up looking for it. Couldn't get there. And the puck cleared up over the glass and out of play.
The New York Islanders are one of the best 5-on-5 scoring teams in the league for a reason. They get in the forecheck, turn pucks over, and Kuhlman just out-strengths Mike Weaver, and then empty guys in front. The Montreal Canadiens have to stop vacating the front of the net, chasing it right behind. Not good enough. Eventually that'll come back to cost them.
Now this is good enough, and this is at the far end, the defensive side of things. That's a pretty healthy slash by Boychuk. That's what an ad, though, to get him the eve of the season, a Stanley Cup champ from Boston, and then they make another phone call and add Nick Leddy, a Stanley Cup champion. That changed their team in 2 phone calls.
Well, and didn't it, Heels? I mean, most people, I don't think, would have been that excited about the Islanders at all as a contender heading into the year. Completely changed their dynamic.
Everyone wants to talk about asset allocation. Well, an asset the teams have is cap space, and that's what the Islanders had. And they were able to go to Chicago and Boston, 2 teams that didn't have any, and take advantage of the money they had sitting around, get these 2 defensemen.
Pacioretty moves in, snipes one. It'll hop up around Subban. Plekanec looking for Pacioretty. And knocked away from him. Bailey comes out. And again, it was a big line against big line. But Plekanec, Pacioretty, Weiss against Tavares, Bailey, and Opozo. Gallagher wires one in, and Halak took a telltale peek, but he had it and hangs on.
Yaroslav Halak playing exceptionally well as of late. 21 wins in his last 25 starts. So one way to try to get into his game, his head, is to get bodies around the front of the net, people flashing through his line of sight. And the Montreal Canadiens have done a pretty good job of that. Forcing to bobble that one, making routine saves a little more difficult.
Well, the one way for Gallagher to get punched in the head is when the goalie has it and his glove is covering it, you probably don't take a stab at it.
Grabner up there looking for it along the boards. Grabner trying to dish it back out there for Kuhlman. Nelson drifting one in towards the net. And Boychuk couldn't keep it in. Galchenyuk had it pushed away from him. Well, spinning off the hit there was Kuhlman. This is Lee. Islanders in a change. Nielsen steps up after it. He was squeezed out of the play. Thomas. Trying to get it up to Sakach and move back. Here's Sakach with it. Beaulieu. Gains some room in over the blue line and then misfired, but here's Sakach. Will he get a shot? Dishes it back. Gonchar. Beaulieu. Good shot by Sakach and knocked down by Halak. Nice puck movement there by the Canadians.
And it's fundamental hockey. Give and go, move your feet, get to the scoring area, and a couple quick passes. And Lars Eller gets a pretty good look. Yuri Sekac.
Well, from ice level, the New York Islanders are a very fast team. You get the puck, they're on you. The best way to handle that, no one can skate as fast as the puck. Move it.
Malhotra fires one that had a maze of sticks and skates to get through and didn't. Bourneval played it across. Subban, big high flip through the neutral zone. Uses that a lot.
He's not afraid to go to that, puts the defenseman in a tough spot. There are no fair catches in hockey, so guys skating at you, you have to handle it cleanly. Pucks can take crazy bounces, and Montreal gets possession out of it. He goes to that more than once in a game.
More than any other defenseman?
For someone with as much skill as he has who can make good passes, usually that's a default. I got nothing else I can do with it, but he likes it as something even when he has time.
Pacioretty. Weiss. Plekanec jumping up into the rush. Weiss was stiff there by Boychuk. Plekanec, Pacioretty. Oh, big chance. And Halak had him that time. Just. Pacioretty with it again. He's been stopped a couple of times in close by Halak, and here he comes. Plekanec. Pacioretty's in the slot. Weiss down low. Subban was stepping up there, but it was tipped away by Bailey. Nice read. Tavares. Opozo, oh, sizzler right along the ice. Plekanec. Galchenyuk, Plekanec. Missed by about 2 inches.
Oh, he had a beat and room to shoot at there.
Subban. Gallagher.
Oh, good hits.
Beaulieu and Grabner hammer into one another.
Almost interference there, whether Grabner had that puck or not.
Up in the wing, Gallagher. And DeHaan heads it off at the pass. Gets it up along the boards. Beaulieu comes up and lands another hit.
Gonna get a penalty for that one.
That one on Brock Nelson.
And I think that's gonna be a high stick on Beaulieu to begin with. And Montreal will be short when we come back.
On Hockey Night in Canada on Sportsnet.
Nathan Beaulieu goes to the box for a fraction on Brock Nelson, but it was a physical shift for Beaulieu as he steps up here on Michael Grabner. Big hit, has some words with Nelson, and then it was 20 seconds later, tries it again, eventually takes the penalty.
Well, it's an obvious penalty in the sense, too, guys. You have a certain level of tolerance. I mean, that shift had a whole bunch of stuff. Slashed the stick right over Opozo's hands. So the referees, they reach the tolerance level. They watch the hit that you showed, Mike, and they say, enough's enough. Not often do you have a penalty where both referees' hands are up to make the same call. They both were up on that one.
14th ranked power play in the league against the 6th ranked penalty killing heading into this game.
Now the big guy too, Tavares, 17 power play points. So my money's on him if the puck ends up in the back of the net.
Opozo. Nelson moving up looking for it. Nelson. Opozo. Tavares. Tavares comes out of the corner. Backhand shot right through the blue paint. Boychuk moves up. And being pressured there by Prust. Subban rings it around the boards and out.
That's good pressure from the Montreal Canadiens. Didn't get it done initially behind the net, but waited for another opportunity. Never really let the Islanders get set up and eventually get the clear.
Boychuk. Bailey. Lee and Strome out there. Lee parks himself between the hash marks, but all for naught as the puck is cleared. And Leddy back to pick it up. Strome. Lee with him there at the line. And Lee up there looking for it. Hamonic. Leddy. He will walk it in. Hamonic wide open, top of the point. And Lee was off the edge of the crease. He dips down low to Bailey. Nobody in front. He'll step out. And what a stop by Karski. He just robbed Ryan Strome.
What a save.
Off the toe. Lee. Back towards the line, but Hamonic had already backed out. Strome will step in. Bailey is trailing, and he drops it to him. Nice little shift, moves in, and then misfired. And then had the pocket picked. Eller comes back, short-handed. Pacioretty. Subban was banging his stick as he moved through the slot. Beaulieu clears it up. Oh, that buzz. Hamonic getting in front of that. Subban. It's a catch. Oh, crunched, grazed by Clutterbuck. He had him in the crosshairs, didn't he?
I mentioned it. He's not going to turn any hits down. Always amongst the league leaders. A healthy competition between him and Matt Martin, who's going to be at top of the lead rank at the end of the year.
Well, they know what they have to do to play, and
Yep.
Capuano plays his 4 lines. It's a complete 4-line team.
Nice to start them out of periods, get some energy going.
With probably that Martin, Cizikas, Clutterbuck line, the best 4th line in the league. I think most people would agree. Okposo looking for it. Gonchar. Beaulieu.
And Romy, would that be even better than Buffalo's 4th lines? Disregard the statement.
Gallagher. Beaulieu. Heels, if you say so, I'm going along with you tonight.
Trudging through with a sore voice. Keep it up.
For obvious reasons, I can't argue. Boychuk. And that'll ring all the way around. Islanders a bit of a scruffy change. Boychuk will clear it in.
They only got 4 guys out there anyways right now in New York. Playing 15 seconds with just 4 guys.
Cautious change.
A breakdown on the bench.
Weiss, Plekanec. Oh, he was going for the net. Had just a breath there where he was all alone. Pacioretty. And Nilsson clears it in. Just over 2 minutes to go here in this opening period. That one skips in wide. 1-0 Montreal lead. PK Subban scoring in the power play. Leddy. Hamonic. Nelson tried to snap one. Subban got his stick on it. Prost. Leaping up into the play, gets it up. Bournival looking in front. He's going to go all the way back to Markov and likes the shot option and push the wrist shot just wide.
Manny Malhotra's been around the net tonight, still looking for his first goal on the season. He's had some good chances already in this first period.
Prost. Oh, and another good chance. Swing and miss by Malhotra, but he's parked right in front. Cizikas. Clutterbuck. Drilled one wide. Had it on the glove side, I think.
If you read the scouting report on Cal Clutterbuck, he loves top glove always. Where he went right there.
And Tokarski doesn't like top glove.
No, he gives up highest percentage of the goals against on him are over his glove. 30% of the goals against glove side.
Pop over there in front. Thomas shoots. Beaulieu. Cizikas. He'll play it down. And going to the bench in some distress is Thomas for Montreal. He's going to stay on the bench, but he was under some distress. Late chance there for Tavares. Tried to wrap around in his own rebound. Another chance was there for DeHaan.
Good cover by Beaulieu going down with his glove to stop a wraparound on John Tavares.
Only 7 shots for the Islanders, but I count 5 scoring chances.
Scoring chances, but no goals. Montreal got the only one. PK Subban scored it. First intermission coming up. Here's George Stroumboulopoulos.
Period. Paul Romanek, Mike Johnson, and Glenn Healy. Gentlemen.
Montreal winning 1-0 in large part because Dustin Tokarski stood on his head at the tail end of that period. A couple brilliant saves, including this one on Ryan Strome. Oh, just gets the heel on it as Strome thinks he has the empty net, and he just doesn't raise it high enough. And Dustin Tokarski keeps that 1-0 lead. A nice save late as it was running time.
Going for the flank, scores! Weiss. Quickly out of the blocks, and Weiss jammed it home.
Dale Weiss put on this first line because Michel Therrien said he can skate with Max Pacioretty and Thomas Plekanec, and he shows those wheels here. Gets back deep so he gets ahead of steam, and it's Thomas Plekanec here skating through on the puck that John Tavares is reaching for. Josh Bailey gets on the backside of Dale Weiss, beats him to the front of the net. Nice pass, nice finish, stick on the ice, and a good start for the Montreal Canadiens.
You're just not prepared to play the period. New York Islanders, 10 seconds and they go back to center. Their best players leave the ice. That's the matchup Montreal wants. But if it's Tavares against Plekanec, Tavares has to be ready to play.
Is that his nickname? It's Wheels Weiss, isn't it?
Maybe self-dubbed if Wheels Weiss when he's skating like that. But you know what? You get put on that first line. You get a little pressure on you because Max Pacioretty's rolling along that line and been playing very well. You want to keep it going. And nice feed from Thomas Plekanec through to Hahn. And there's Josh Bailey, who doesn't have his feet moving. And Dale Weiss beats him to the far post. Easy tap in. And the line juggling proves successful so far for Michel Therrien.
Well, that's a career-tying high of 6 goals. You wouldn't imagine a guy with 6 ends up on the top line, but he performs a pretty good function with that 3.
Plekanec and Pacioretty pick up the assists, and Pacioretty with the goal-scoring streak coming into the game, but also now with a consecutive point-scoring streak that is at 7 games. That pings off the post. Outside of the post, Eller. Eller again, flicks one in. That came in at, actually hit Thomas, who was parked in front of the net.
Sounded like either caught his stick upright by his ear or perhaps even his helmet.
I think it was the shaft of his stick.
I hope so.
Well, yeah. Prust up there trying to help out, and doesn't come to him. Matt Martin hustling down there for the Islanders. And, really thumped his man Weaver into the boards. Hickey. Martin. And the puck played up ahead. Prust looks over his shoulder for the reinforcements, and they come flying in now. Malholtra was up there looking for it. Hickey gets it up along the boards, knocked down. Malholtra's in the slot, and the puck was tipped, actually went off the Islanders defender. I believe it went off of Hickey.
Well, this is a 2-0 game, but when you really break this thing down, it should be a little different look because of this guy, John Tavares. In the first period, he had 2 absolutely glorious scoring chances. That's the first shot of the game. Tokarski has to be sharp. This was late in the period. That is the 7th shot. Again, late in the period, that would have tied this at 1-1. Instead, no goals. Tokarski answers, and the Montreal Canadiens have answered with a 2nd goal. That's the same as it was last night. It was a 2-1 game when Pittsburgh played against the New York Islanders, and it was a great save by Halak off of Steve Downey and Nick Spaulding, and then the Islanders got back in the game and won it by a landslide.
Keyed by Opozo's natural hat trick and 4-goal performance, as it turned out. Hamonic clears it up. Grabner, right out through the hash marks. Brock Nelson was parked out in front and couldn't react quickly enough. Gallagher And headed off with the pass play of Pozo. Now Gallagher right back into it, showing some great fight there. Galchenyuk trying to help him out along the boards. Desharnais hanging back, see if the puck came to him. And this is Nick Leddy back to pick it up. He will turn and face the play, tucks it up to Tavares. Comes in over the line. Bailey trailing. Wrist shot comes in and it's stopped and held by Tokarski.
Paul, you touched on it. It was a 4-goal performance for Kyle Pozo as he put up quite a game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They needed all of them for that 6-3 win, but you know what? Getting around the front of the net, getting his stick on loose pucks, scoring them in different fashion, but using that big body and good hands around the front to get all 4. And it had been almost 3.5 years since Matt Molson had got 4 for the Islanders last time. Big night. We said 10 points between Tavares, Bailey, and Pozo against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it's amazing to hear them talk about it today. And for the longest time, Long Island, the New York Islanders, that arena was always thought to be a terrible place for the home team. It was quiet, it was dark, it was poorly attended. Not so anymore. You can feel the energy, and Glenn could talk about it better than any of us because he's seen it when it has been great, and it's great once again in their last year there.
Oh yeah, you're talking about your New York Islanders, Mike. I'm going to talk about your dad's New York Islanders, which are the team that I played with. You know, it's a metal roof, and the building was electric. You know, the road was paved by the guys in the 80s that won 4 Stanley Cups, and then guys like me got to drive on it, and these are some spectacular moments. You know, you don't see goaltending of this quality anymore in the NHL, but yeah, it was the Islanders. We beat Pittsburgh in '93. We played the Montreal Canadiens in '93 in the semifinals. They went on to win the Stanley Cup, and I'm not bitter about it at all. Get that camera away from me.
Heels, I saw you on one of those highlights. You had the little hack for the guy after he came in with the shot.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was a great Islander team. You know, the fans would sleep overnight just to get tickets. The players, you couldn't even walk outside. You'd be mobbed by fans. They drove your car underneath. It was an electric time. Now they're moving. They're back and they're moving. Off to Brooklyn.
Bailey. And the puck cleared up ahead, and a little bit of room on that left side for Sakac. Up towards the corner, Eller up there with him. Tried to chop it around to Eller. This is Thomas. Nice little move, got to the slot, and Tavares poked it away. Eller is down low, Sakac with the puck. Does he get a shot? Yes, just wide. Subban as the opening goal in this game for Montreal. Sakac. Subban. Topped it there to Eller. Maybe one pass too many. Sakac. Subban. Worked it across. Oh, got it through.
Oh, what a seeing eye little sauce from PK Subban over to Sakac. Didn't get enough on to get it there, but he did.
Sakac. Dropped it back. Eller. Looking for Thomas out in front. Knocked down. And it gets past Subban. Now what a pass that was.
And that's where you want to make that top line for the Islanders play. You can get them running around. You get them cheating. They want to create offense as well. You're going to look at the touch. Through the seam. Through all those sticks. Right in stride for Sakac, who then tries to hit Thomas in front of the net. And that's a nice little touch there. Good puck movement and good body movement. Interchanges with the defensemen and the forwards, and even good defensive teams can get running around.
Puck comes back. Gonchar had a notion, but backs off. Okposo. Tavares up after it. Martin hanging down low, comes back out. Shot fired up just wide. Martin is parked out in front. And he tipped that one just wide of the target and out of play.
It's been a banner year for the New York Islanders in so many ways. And you look at most wins on a year all time. And Yaroslav Halak sadly displaces Glenn Healy out of 4th place. But with 32 being the season record, Jaroslav Halak, if he stays healthy, will surely pass that and set a new mark for the New York Islanders for most wins in a season, now shared by those 3 players.
Well, the 2 things that are most shocking on that list, one, that my name's on it, and the second, Billy Smith. 32 wins. I mean, that's a guy who Hall of Famer, Stanley Cups, but that was Al Arbour's philosophy. You know, you had Chico Resch there with Billy, so you shared the time. Then you had Rolly Melanson, then you had Kelly Rudy. And likewise, when I was with Al, we had Jeff Hackett, Mark Fitzpatrick. So it wasn't a one-goalie team for any of those Islander years.
He's already set one franchise record. He has Halak. He won 11 games in a row earlier this year through November, December. And that's a franchise mark.
And just rewarded with a trip to the All-Star game as well, filling in for the injured Pekka Rinne.
To think that Price and Halak were on the same team, and they were both going to the All-Star game, that was quite a decision the organization had to make. Do we keep Halak, especially after watching him beat Pittsburgh Penguins and Ovechkin Capitals, or do we keep Price? Seemed to have made the right choice, but Halak has resurged his career for this year.
Could you have kept them both?
No. You can't have that many assets sitting in net when you can move one and get something pretty good back, and Lars Eller was the primary return for Jaro Halak.
You know, you're in a salary cap situation where you have to allot your dollars wisely.
That one's tipped in front, and staying with it was Tokarski with a nice stop. Lee looking for it. Lee having just a great rookie season. 6 goals in the last 13 games. Leads the team with 5 game-winning goals. Nelson. Flipped in there by Grabner. Hickey hanging back at the line, takes it, works it over, punched in. Good low shot there by Straight. Here's Straight again. And got a little tangled up in his own bad luck and turned the puck over. And Markov with a good low shot in there to test Halak. More to come, I hope.
Hey guys, you just talked about this. This was the tandem in Montreal in 2009, 2010. Halak, the bulk of the games, the bulk of the wins, and when it came to the playoffs, he also had the bulk of the appearances, leading Montreal to the Eastern Conference Final. But then again, Halak ended up getting traded to St. Louis, and it worked out for both goalies, guys, because Price has emerged into a superstar. Halak obviously is doing quite well, and they could be back reunited next weekend in Columbus. They're both All-Stars, provided that Carey Price's injury allows them to participate. Guys?
Remember how well he played 2 Olympics back. Almost led his team to an upset over Canada. Very, very good goalie. And I take your point. You couldn't have had 2 assets, I guess, from a business point of view, that good. But boy, imagine the goaltending shape they'd be in.
They have been a nightmare in net for the past number of seasons. And this graphic will kind of show exactly what they've had, which is 15 goaltenders in the past 8 years. Technical difficulty with the graphic, but trust me when there are 15 names on that list.
Just going to put them all on the screen. There's so many, and they're just a revolving door trying to find anybody who could stop the puck. And even when they got Jaroslav Halak, signed him that 4-year contract, still a lot of doubters as to whether or not he could play behind the Islander defense as well as he did behind St. Louis's. Showing he can.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens, when he was in net, there wasn't much defense going on against Crosby and against Ovechkin.
50 shots a night.
And a lot of them from the star players. So let's put up some of that poison pen that shows why the Islanders have not been very good for a lot of years. But yes, there they are. There's the list. Leaf fans will remember Dublowitz. That's the guy that broke their hearts in a shootout. The Islanders made the playoffs when they beat the Devils in the shootout, and the Leafs went home with a participation trophy.
Oh, just drilling it off the draw was Alex Galchenyuk. And the man we're talking about, Halak, nice stop.
Good jump for Alex Galchenyuk off the wing. Going there, they're thinking maybe a little less thinking, a little more reacting, and David Desharnais said, any advice for his new winger? He said, shoot the puck. I'm the setup guy, you be the shooter. Taking his advice to heart there, and a good wrister on Halak.
It's 9 games now without a goal.
He's too good to go that long.
And as a goalie, I knew if you go 9 games without a goal, I know you're shooting pucks. You're not passing.
Gallagher trying to get it out in front, and that was Franz Nielsen, who was without a stick, and a penalty coming up. I think it's going to be Jahan. It's going to be Hamonic.
I think it's going to be Hamonic all tied up with Brendan Gallagher. And you see the problems that Brendan Gallagher can pose when he starts cycling the puck, spinning around,
New York,
using his lower center of gravity to his advantage. Back and forth, he's smaller, he's a little bit quicker than Travis Hamonic. Right off the draw, jumps inside, and then gets inside Jahan here. Fights off him, puck comes back down around, and now it's Hamonic who tries to get in on him. There's Jahan reaching. And a little slash there, stays with it, it just battles that hard, and right there you see the reaching from Hamonic draw the penalty.
Montreal 1-for-1 in the power play. Markov, Plekanec, Subban, Markov, Plekanec. They work it around. They were looking for Subban over there on the left side. He scored their earlier power play goal.
Montreal's looking for him, as was Casey Cizikas. Head was on a swivel. Keep checking that seam to PK Subban, trying to take him away.
Plekanec. It's a catch up there and couldn't get to it. 1:20 to go in the power play. Lots of time for Montreal. And a 2-0 lead over the Islanders. Pacioretty waits. Pacioretty still. Oh, nice job by Markov to keep it in. Pacioretty there in the half board. He's looking for Gallagher. That's down in the corner. Comes up. Gallagher tapped it out. Desharnais and picked up and cleared by Grabner.
There you see the difference between the first period. Plekanec on the half wall and Pacioretty. All he has to do is get that puck through the defender, and it's to Markov over to Subban for a shot, but twice it was intercepted while he tried to make that pass.
Here's Gonchar. Goes looking for Galchenyuk. Jumping right up there was Beaulieu. Gets it down. Desharnais. Gonchar. Beaulieu. Gonchar. Beaulieu. Works it down. Gallagher's parked right in front. Gonchar shoots. Rebound. Jab at it there for Gallagher, but it's covered up.
You wanted Gallagher to get punched in the head again, Glenn? Well, there it is, right on top of the crease, poking away, screening, jabbing the goaltender. And it's not an easy place to hang out. Checking his heels, making sure he doesn't get inside the blue paint, sliding with the puck, having to go right between his legs in against Halak, and then look for rebounds, knowing that you have the defender right on top of you. Not an easy job.
Just 3 seconds to go in the power play. And Plekanec up in the face-off against Tavares. And Tavares just steers it back. Penalized player back on the ice. Hamonic out of the box, into the mix. Tavares. And tried to pull it to his forehand and had his pocket picked. Back in comes Bailey. Right there, Okposo scores. And Kyle Okposo with his 5th goal in the last 1.5 games.
Hey, when you're hot, you're hot, and Kyle Okposo is scorching right now. Flip out, turned over, Josh Bailey attacks quickly, and Canadians don't quite sort it out. A little back heel from John Tavares to Kyle Okposo. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. He might tell you it was. And over pursued by Markov here, steps through, and it's basically a breakaway. And Okposo fans on that puck. He's trying to go top glove. Tokarski reads the stick and the eyes. He's got the glove up there, and he fans on it, cuts underneath the puck, and slips it underneath the glove. And a little bit of luck for Kyle Okposo. Closes the gap to 1.
Okposo from Tavares and Bailey. And it is a 2-1 game. Tavares. And Tavares Tavares with it, plays it out. Bailey almost able to walk right through.
5 goals for Opozo in the past 2 games, not quite 2 games. I think he's fanned on 4 of the shots.
Hasn't he?
The grand total of the speed of all 4 shots is less than 45 miles an hour. But they're going in.
Tavares. Bailey up there looking for it.
Opozo got clipped in the face there. Montreal going to be picking up a penalty for high stick.
So a chance for the Islanders in the power play. They can tie this one up when we come back. All right, let's take a look at our Budweiser red light scoreboard, and notable by its absence, offense from the Leafs. They continue to struggle monumentally on this road trip.
Not surprising heading through California. Worried about defense. Tough to create some goals for them right now.
Therrien is not going to like this penalty. 180 feet from their net. That little high stick, he's lucky it's not 4, it's only 2. But with the luck of TV timeouts, the Tavares line that was just on gets the rest in his back.
Boychuk teed it up there. Boychuk, Tavares, all trying to badger that puck loose. Opozo, Boychuk. Chance for the Islanders to tie this one up. And the big guns out there. Tavares gave it away. Crust. Nice move. And caught the post. My goodness. Startling by Crust.
He might have been as surprised as anybody. What a move.
Short-handed, beautiful little move. Pings it off the iron. Boychuk. Oh, tip there. Nice soft hands from Frans Nielsen. Plekanec. Pacioretty. Tavares. Tavares looking for the return feed from Opozo. Nielsen. Sniped there by Leddy. Nielsen. Drops it down low. Tavares. Leddy. Nielsen. Lee was parked right in front. And he's got it now back in the net. Little jam at the side there by Tavares. Opozo after it. Leddy. Tavares. Had Lee down low but went back out. And the puck fired there by Leddy wide of the target. Seconds to go in the power play for the Islanders. Best chance to the Canadians. Brandon Prust who pinged it off the iron. Martin in front. Tokarski to stop. They jam at it. Clutterbuck was front and center. Everyone will come in.
Nominate your community at khv2015.ca by February 8th for your chance to be the next Kraft Hockey Bill. Brought to you by Cracker Barrel Cheese.
Last chance, the New York Islanders, as Dustin Tokarski, little miscommunication, passes it to nobody in particular, and he's forced to make a couple good saves. It looks like Zikas might drag it by there, but the pad makes the save, and Dustin Tokarski doesn't play that much, gets right into Andrei Markov's ear, and they talk it out. Where do you want it? What are you seeing? What am I supposed to hear? That's good communication on the spot, making sure it does not happen again. And the best chance to power play, Brandon Prust, inside, outside, old school wrister, paying off the bar.
It has been a week of the sound of the pipes for the New York Islanders. Earlier this week against the New York Rangers, 4 posts in the first period. Brassard hit both posts with a gaping wide open net. Halak got a shutout in that game. First time that the Islanders had shut out the Rangers in the Garden, and that's not easy to do since 1975 when Billy Smith did it. I've played in those games, Islander Rangers. The rivalry is incredible.
Hey, you've got a front row seat to watch Tokarski tonight, Glenn. What are you seeing from ice level?
You know, when you don't play a lot, your puck handling disappears. The game, you're looking at it through a telescope backwards. But what I'm seeing from him is poise, confidence. He's made a number of really good saves. The shots aren't in the favor of the New York Islanders, but the scoring chances have been there. And it's been the big boys. How many scoring chances has Tavares had? Quite a few. And he's stood up to the task.
Well, off the top of my head, he's 4 or 5 for sure.
Well, the one that Mike showed at the beginning of the second period, as good as you're going to get.
Thomas hauled down, tripping penalty. Keep your feet moving, coaches tell you. That'll draw the penalty. Thomas did, and it did.
Montreal Canadiens to a power play as Thomas Hickey picks up a tripping penalty. Cannot skate with Christian Thomas back in the lineup here for PA Parenteau. And for a guy who doesn't play too much, this is like scoring a goal. Bring some energy, draw a penalty, put your team on the power play, keeping your feet moving. Don't stay to the outside, forcing Hickey to dive, taking your feet out. And Christian Thomas puts Montreal back onto the power play.
And Christian Thomas can score. You look at his father, Steve, who I played with the Islanders and with the Leafs. They are...
Buchanan can score too, and he just did. Thomas with an uncredited assist. Buchanan gets the goal.
Offensive zone face-off, he can control it and attack right away. Good help from Max Pacioretty. And Kuhlman is going to take PK Subban away. So that leaves Thomas Buchanan all by himself. Easy pass, easy one-timer. And you're trying to pick your poison thinking Thomas Buchanan is less dangerous than PK Subban. But watch Brendan Gallagher again. Checks his feet, and he reads the play because he's over in front of Yaroslav Halak. No one is not going to PK Subban. No one is going to Thomas Buchanan, and Halak doesn't see it. Only hears it go off the post in behind him.
Second power play goal of the game for Montreal.
Both off of face-offs that were won clean. And both within about 6 seconds of a power play. Beginning and ending.
Here's Martin. Clutterbuck going for the front of the net, but no rebound forthcoming.
Face-offs are so critical, especially when you have the power play, because you don't have to go back 200 feet and get it. Here's the first one. Notice the front of the net. Halak doesn't like the catch there. Hits him a couple times. Yeah, well, this one's hitting the back of the net. Man in front, shot from Subban. It's not the same goal. No, this is a different goal. Same result. Look at the front of the net. Gallagher there. Halak doesn't see that one either. So for a power play that has been woeful, it has woken up this evening.
And you watch both those clips. Max Pacioretty jumping in on a half-one draw to gain full control, setting up the goal. Faceoffs are not just on the centerman. It is a team-wide concept.
A point well taken too, Glenn. Montreal 26th in the league in power plays coming into this game. Well, good chance for Buchanan. Just scored in the power play a moment ago. Had a chance to add to it there. Puck gets past Markov. Subban. Weiss. Pass was just behind Weiss.
What a game for Buchanan. 3 points. 23 times in his career he's done that. So for a guy we look at as a checker and as a shutdown guy, he has found a way to pad some of his stats in the NHL playing in that role.
And I got traded to Montreal. It took me one summer session.
Press got it in front. Good chance there from Malhotra, looking for his first goal of the year.
He's all over it tonight. He's due.
Lays it up. One of them. Malhotra in front. Pressed with a shot. That was stopped. Gonchar. And rebound coming out there from Halak, who stopped it. Nilsson. Moving in. Kuhlman scores.
What a play by Brock Nelson. Handling that puck, absorbing the contact, and then dropping it to Nikolai Kuhlman, who goes in and rings one off the post onto a virtual breakaway. Gonchar tries to put one in here, it's blocked, and Nelson slips out to the beginning, but right here, pretty good pickup with one hand. Now he knows he can't outrace him, but I can tie them both up, drop it, and now Beaulieu's in a bad spot, Gonchar standing still, and Kuhlman's in alone. And that's the kind of strength and size that is brought Nelson advantage, and a nice finish from former 30-goal scorer Nikolai Kuhlman posting in right along the ice on Dustin Tokarski.
And if you buy into these types of stats, the team is 13-0-0 when Kuhlman records a point. Martin up into the corner. Cizikas trying to step into his man. It'll come back to him now. Cizikas. Clutterbuck drifting towards the slot. Works it back. Straight. Fires one straight on. And it's stopped and held.
So the defense has completely be revamped this year. Johnny Boychuk, Nick Leddy brought in. Yes, they help because they're good players. They've won Stanley Cups, but maybe more than that, they've slotted everybody else appropriately. They can bring different elements. Boychuk's a physical guy. Nick Leddy's a puck mover. But it's more Travis Hamonick's not playing 25 minutes anymore. And Thomas Hickey doesn't have to play second pair. He's on the third pair. And everyone on down the line is slotted appropriately, and they are become way more effective because of that.
Well, the guy who plays the most for the New York Islanders, you'd think maybe it's Tavares. No, it is Boychuk. Just over 21 minutes. The rest of the guys, the numbers are all down. 4 lines deep, 6 defense. Well, they gave up a really good prospect to get Boychuk, you might add. But still, those are pedigree guys with lots of championship in them that can tell guys in the Islanders, we're for real. I played on for real teams. You're one of them.
This is Strome. Nielsen was parked in front. DeHaan fires one in, comes off the boards. Lee was looking for it. Oh, wicked bounce.
Good reach by Weaver, though. Looking like a guy going up for a rebound over top of the net. Playing some basketball because Dustin Tokarski did not know where this puck was. A crazy carom off the back wall. And it's about to bounce perhaps off his shoulder and roll down his back. Tokarski doesn't know where it is, but there's Weaver right over there. Scraping it off the top of the net, making it harmless.
You know, they just didn't add 2 guys, 2 good defensemen. They added 2 champions. And I think that is a major difference when you look to build your team. If you can have guys that do this in June, because that's what you want. You want to add players. The question is, can they play in April? No. Can they play in June? And both those guys showed that they can.
Now, guys, you both played in the league. Most people watching haven't. Does somebody with that kind of credibility, who's hoisted the cup, have instant credibility as soon as he steps in? This is Pacioretty moving in. Drops it in front. Oh, what a stop. Point blank on Weiss. Pacioretty trying to ferret it loose there in the corner with Weiss. What a great chance for Weiss that was.
Perfect pass. Just got to get it up in the air.
Tavares. Hamonick. We'll get back to that point in a second. Curious for the answers from a couple of NHLers.
Romy, I've got some video evidence that will show an answer to that question, which is something that's not insignificant, but it answers the question for you.
That was Boychuk's stick that disintegrated. Opozo. Nelson. And way gone up over the glass into the netting.
Every team, when you come out on the ice, there's an order. There's a guy who goes first, there's a guy who goes last. And I've never seen it where a team who gets a player at the beginning of the year, this is the guy who comes out right after the goalie. That's leadership. Mike, have you ever been the first guy on the ice after the goalie, even if you go back to your Bowling Green days? But there's a method to every team's madness. And I can tell you the Boston Bruins this year, they missed that guy in the locker room. He is a ton of fun to watch play, and he brings energy to every situation.
Well, they just got to get him re-signed, keep him around long term. His right-handed shot defenseman can play like he can, has done what he's done. 1 year left on his deal after this one, and he'll command a pretty penny.
Healy wielding the verbal machete there. I mean, your face just dropped.
Just so he knows, I always went last where the skilled players went. Roll the film. Tavares is walking out last as well.
Let's roll the Leaf film and watch Ty go out last, okay? If you're putting yourself in that category, then you knock yourself out. Very quiet up there, Romy. Very quiet.
Sorry. Good chance for Thomas there. You're killing me. Here's Martin. Open mic night with Healy. Thomas looking for it. DeHaan. That goes off a skate. And that will be an icing call on Montreal.
3-2 game here late in the third or second period, and it could be worse because Montreal's had a couple really good looks the last few minutes, and Yaroslav Halak has made some timely saves to keep it at just one. Christian Thomas, who's already drawn a penalty, has to walk right in this one, right where he wants it. He's got to find the corner of the net, and it's in, but Halak makes a pretty good save on that one. Here's the one on Weiss. Beautiful save there. Great look from the POV cam. And the movement and the efficiency for Yaroslav Halak on both those plays, keeping it just one towards the end of the second period here.
Well, you mentioned Thomas, and obviously Christian, his father Steve. They're the only father-son combination that scored 50 goals ever in the O. Christian 54 and Steve Thomas 51. It's got a lofty, rarefied air for a father-son combination when it comes to goal scoring.
We remember Christian Thomas at the family skates with the Leafs when he was about 10 years old, wheeling around Maple Leaf Gardens with Glenn and I, their Canada Center, and watch him grow up, become a star in the OHL, and now finding his way into the NHL. And you know he's pretty good in the OHL because he was traded in the OHL for that guy, John Tavares, at one point. Oshawa and London swinging deals, and Christian Thomas was the piece going the other way with Tavares changing teams from Oshawa to London. So you know he was a top-flight junior scorer.
I think the rest of the team went in the trade as well.
He wasn't the only one?
No, there was quite a few. And it was Oshawa to London. In fact, London didn't even win the Memorial Cup that year with a bolstered roster.
Well, if we're reminiscing, I remember his dad, Steve, coming up to play for the Toronto Marlies. I did their games on the radio at the time. He was a late bloomer, and he was a late season call-up from the Markham Waxers. And everybody, when they saw his shot, which was the first thing that hit you, it was like, wow, where's this guy been? And as you pointed out, he went on to be a pretty prolific scorer in junior. But it's not like he started in the league when he was a 16 or 17-year-old. Weiss. This is Bailey. Hamonic. Well, that's batted away by Tokarski. Shot fired there by DeHaan wide of the mark. And that will do it for period number 2. Montreal, 16 shots on goal in that second period. Second intermission coming up on Hockey Night in Canada.
After 40 minutes, and let's check out some out-of-town scores. A lot of Canadian teams in action with our Budweiser Red Light scoreboard. The Leafs just can't find the net, have yet to score against St. Louis. The Senators with a comfortable 2-goal lead on the Hurricanes. And of course, Florida with a 2-1 lead on Edmonton. Ducks in LA will be the nightcap coming up 11 Eastern on Sportsnet. All right, Max Pacioretty, a milestone night for him. Give him 250 career points now. And what a force he has been, guys. 7 goals in the last 16 games. In fact, 7 of Montreal's last 14 goals came courtesy of this guy. And how resilient is he? We all remember the hit against Chara. Came back from that. This was Thursday night. Ouch, into the net. Pacioretty went. He came back for this as well. So he's such a tough guy. And he's such a leader for this Montreal team. And he's loving the fact they're beating the Islanders. He grew up in Connecticut, guys, a huge Rangers fan. He despised the New York Islanders. So the little man's all grown up and now doing a number on the team he grew up despising. Let's get you now set for the third period with Paul Romanuk, Mike Johnson, and yes, Glenn Healy as well. Guys.
All right, thanks, Dave. What's your favorite team as a kid, Mike?
I was a front runner, so I liked the Edmonton Oilers. I was growing up, in the early 80s when Wayne Gretzky was doing his thing, and I suppose the Toronto Maple Leafs a little bit as I was growing up in Toronto, but mostly it was the Oilers and that great group of forwards that they had scoring all those goals. And Whenever I was allowed up to stay up to watch him, I would.
How about you, Glenn?
Well, they were scoring all those great goals on me.
And, you know, after the fact makes me like them even more.
We would go into Edmonton. We wouldn't fly charter. We would fly commercial. Day of the game, and at the end of the first, it would be 6-0 for the Oilers. I remember one particular game, the glass broke behind the net, and Pat Quinn was the coach. The referee came over. We got to fix the glass. It'll be a little bit, Mr. Quinn. We were losing 6 or 7-0. He said, "Can we keep the clock running?"
And John Tavares right at the faceoff. Loses his stick right here, and he's thinking, I want this thing. No, I'll step on it, and PK, accidentally on purpose, kick it away a little bit as well. And you can't do much without your stick in your hands. Be careful that would be an interference penalty on PK Subban if they deem that intentional. Some players don't know that rule. Will shoot sticks away or kick them away thinking it's okay, and that would be an interference call.
Now, John Tavares, it all happened in this building. His name was announced at the draft. There was some question whether he was going to be picked first. There was Hedman, there was Duchesne, but I got to know John before that. We had a situation where at Uxbridge Secondary School we'd bring in some handicapped kids and we'd play some floor hockey against them with the school watching. So you have 1,000 kids watching. And I looked over and John Tavares was coaching one of the teams. I went over and said, "John, you got to take part in the festivities with us NHLers." He said, "No, I'm happy just coaching my Henry Street team." So quality guy even before he was picked first overall.
And it's a well-worn cliche, but the poise he shows for such a young guy and the leadership he displays. Gallagher fires one, scores. Galchenyuk. Another early goal for Montreal.
Reunited, and it feels so good for Gallagher and Galchenyuk. Turnover there, good step up by David Desharnais. Quick little 3-on-3. Broken play off the Hunt skate. On the Gallagher shot, passes right to Galchenyuk. Then he whips it on through. Glenn, you said when you're struggling, you shoot the puck, and Galchenyuk head down, just gets it on net, and leaks through Yaroslav Halak underneath his blocker, and that smile says relief right there, finally breaking that prolonged slump, getting a goal.
Montreal scored a minute 56 into the game, 10 seconds into the second period, and 52 seconds into the third period.
Just not ready to play the start of the periods. And if I'm Jack Capuano, the one thing I'm complaining about to my team is turnovers. Too many turnovers through 2 periods, 17, and then that goal started and initiated with a turnover by the Islanders.
Here's Eller, and couldn't get untangled. Sakach was in front. Yemelin. Eller crashing in. Thomas with a whirling dervish type move. Going to the top of the crease. Eller. Here's Yemelin to Subban. PK, lots of room. We see a little spin move, not that time. Here's Subban. Bournemouth with Malhotra hanging back. Here's Subban. Dips, dives, waits. There's a little Subanian spinorama into the corner. Prost. Subban. Subban still. One-handed it right across to Malhotra again.
He's got to get one tonight.
Prost. Markov. Here's Prost. Markov. Prost at the side. Beaulieu comes over. Bournemouth. Right in front. Prost just missed there. Canadians all over the Islanders here. Great sustained pressure. Plekanec. Gonchar wires it.
The Montreal Canadiens, it's early and often. You mentioned the one in the first period. Okay, that puts them up 1-0. This is 10 seconds into the second period. And here, again, we haven't even hit the minute mark on the clock. And the New York Islanders are going back to center, picking it out of their own net. Coming into the game was all Plekanec. He had 7 goals. The entire rest of the team had 8 from 2015 on. Well, now we've got lots of scoring from 4 different players, 4 different ways.
Raposo. Bailey. Hickey. Backhand shot. Oh, right there. Tavares. It's blockered away by Tokarski. Steady as she goes. Here comes Pacioretty. Wheeling. Dealing. Raposo. Let's that wrist shot go.
Stand on that one, too.
Tokarski fan on that one. Wobbling that puck with his glove a couple times tonight.
Bailey. There's Subban. Chips it up off the glass and out. DeHaan. And Tavares just tipped it. Subban. Islanders hustling in a change. Desharnais. Gets it down for Gallagher. Galchenyuk also up there. Weaver. Plekanec flips it up ahead. And offside.
Early in the period, Dustin Tokarski had to make a couple saves, including one on a broken play here. Thomas Hickey, little spinorama. Now this is for early in the period. The ice is significantly more slippery than later, and he makes a save here, but watch him just drift on that fresh ice in his crease. And he just keeps sliding and sliding and sliding. And a little more snow on there, a little more cuts in the ice, and you don't slide so far out of the net, as Glenn could well appreciate.
Well, you know guys don't do as much now. Work the crease in. Remember that?
Yeah, they like to snow it up a little bit.
Yeah. Goalies would come out and they would work in the crease.
He's one that does. It's a lot of effort to do that, you know, Romy. You want to save it for the game.
Here's Eller. It's a catch. Muscled there in the corner by Boychuk. Leddy. And cruising towards the net, and now back of the net is Grabner, number 40 up there trying to win it. Kuhlman up there with him. Kuhlman has one of those Islanders goals, and he works it across, intended for Grabner, but it was tipped. Good active stick there from Beaulieu.
Back-to-back games for the New York Islanders. They didn't get in till 1:30 in the morning last night. They had to travel up from Long Island. 19 giveaways so far this evening. 2 of them that have directly resulted in goals. You know, you've got to find a way to manage the puck. You're playing a Montreal team that hasn't had trouble scoring goals. And like in a game of pool, it's not what you make, it's what you leave. And they've left far too many on the table tonight. And as a result, they are down 4-2, and they deserve it.
It's the 8th back-to-backer of the season for the Islanders. They're 6-1-0 in the second half of the back-to-back. Good shot there from Clutterbuck was stopped. Cizikas. Subban trying to throw a lasso on him, and does. Halak. Here's Martin. Clutterbuck.
Bortavall laid out by Clutterbuck.
Well, he gets up.
Looked like he was out cold there for a second on the ice, but he's staying on the ice, so.
And now he heads to the bench. Did he ever get rocked? He stays on the bench for the time being. Tavares. Here's Pacioretty. Cross there for Plekanec. Pacioretty following up, offside. 13:32 to go, third period. Pacioretty and the Habs having a night on Hockey Night in Canada.
Michael Bourneval staying on the bench is a good sign after that collision with Cal Clutterbuck. And watch Clutterbuck right here. He sees him, and that little extra cut right there into the ice of Michael Bourneval. And it was accidentally, completely on purpose, knowing that he's going to take his ice away. Bourneval not looking at that weak side. And right there you thought he might be in trouble, but he got up, stayed in the play, and should have been a penalty.
How do you not call that? That's my rhetorical question.
If you think it's two guys running into each other, and both of them aren't looking at each other, you don't.
Pozo whistles that one wide.
Totally reckless by Clutterbuck. Yeah. And he doesn't need to have that as part of his repertoire. He's leading all players with hits tonight with 6. He played pretty much on the edge, but that's over the edge.
Here's Boychuk. Plekanec. Tavares. Opozo comes up. He's got Leddy with him. He'll lead the charge to the corner. Bailey, Tavares up there as well. Islanders with the offensive guns out there. Down by 2. But back quickly. Gallagher shoots. Nice stop by Halak as he flicked out that right pad. Kuhlman.
That's too many men. Oh, Markov smartly did not play it and got a bit of the benefit of the doubt as Gonchar had jumped.
The wily 14-season veteran with a wily veteran play. Gallagher. Desharnais up there with him. Kuhlman pings it off the glass. Gonchar. Galchenyuk. And Gallagher both in the way, and now they're both on the way to the bench. As Michel Therrien will get in some changes. This is Martin. Tucked it up there on the right side for Nelson. Nelson looks around. Kuhlman going to the front of the net. He's not going to get it to him. Roma Holtra, who's been all around the net tonight. Bourneval. Holtra. Bourneval showing no ill effects after that hit, so good for him. Lee. Goes heavily into the boards. Yemelin was watching him, but
he's losing his footing before he even got in there. Just crashed on his own.
Yeah, Yemelin didn't have much to do with that.
That's a good read by the goalies, or by the referees.
And Lee has lost his helmet as well, and he heads back to the bench. Meanwhile, play continues. Dehaan played it up. Cut down at the blue line. Sakach got it up. Thomas with a shot. There's another guy who's been all around the net tonight, playing his second game since being called up from Hamilton. Sakach. Given a rub there along the boards by Hamonic. Clutterbuck turns it over. Beaulieu coming in. Thomas up there with him. Cizikas. Martin. And a little pushing and shoving with Thomas there in front of the Islanders bench. What of your picture? Leddy. Tavares was looking for Bailey. Knocked away, Pacioretty. And couldn't quite get it going. Bailey with it here for the Islanders. Over to Boychuk. Tavares, Bailey. Couldn't get any pressure generated. Pacioretty coming up there for Montreal. Boychuk got there first. Plekanec. Fortuitous bounce for Montreal. And Pacioretty with a nice little pass to Weiss that didn't quite click.
But you gotta be a little bit selfish around the net there for Dale Weiss and shoot that thing.
Pozo at the line. And that goes offside. Tavares has to come out. And didn't. And that's an offside call. 9:10 to go in the third period. Montreal up by a pair.
Okay, our focus here at Hockey Night in Canada is to bring you close to the game. Get the fans close to the action. So you're not going to get much better than this. Have a look and have a listen.
You're doing right into your living room, and PK Subban leads the team. Everybody in ice time, 22:05. He's a guy that everybody wants to hit in the NHL, and yet he does such a good job protecting himself by shielding guys off with his back, engaging into the contact on his terms so to protect himself. It's amazing how little he gets hit when you know everybody'd love to take a run at him.
Islanders would love to take a run at this Montreal lead. Here's Desharnais, big chance. Wires it.
Oh my! David Desharnais leans on this one, and he goes roof daddy. Again, Islanders under full control, and they try to play it through the middle, active stick, over skate, another turnover, and David Desharnais said, I'm not going to try to take this on the far post. I'm going to open up and go top shelf blocker, and Yaroslav Halak tries to get out, but there's the first good stick from Desharnais. Scrambled play, another good stick from Desharnais, and good defense, leading to some easy offense, and with those kind of shots, you're going to beat most goalies. That was a laser.
And now here's Eller. Sick catch with a chop out. Thomas was there in front looking for it. Here's Thomas. Eller. Try to get it back to Thomas. Sick catch. Beaulieu. One-timer came in from Gonchar. Eller. Through the slot and sick catch. Tipped it up over the glass. And out of play.
Some real good coaching moves by Therrien. Galchenyuk, we talked about it, Mike. He moves to the wing. Doesn't take long before he finds the back of the net with the first goal of the period, less than a minute in. Therrien's thinking, not bad. I move that guy to the wing, pays off. So let's take a guy and move him back to center. And that's Desharnais. Goes back to center, doesn't take him long. Stick side, Halak down way too early.
And 8 minutes to play and a 5-2 lead for Montreal.
Montreal's done a nice job tonight. They had an opponent that played last night coming off emotional wins against the Rangers and against Pittsburgh, and they were struggling. They shuffled their lines, looking for some more contributions throughout their lineup, not just that first line, and they've gotten it. Desharnais's gotten the goal, Galchenyuk's gotten the goal. The fourth line has been as effective as we've seen it. Christian Thomas drawing a penalty that led to a power play goal. Up and down the lineup, and that's how the Canadiens have to play to be successful long term, getting everyone going like they are tonight.
Cizikas was looking for Martin in the corner, but knocked down. Bournemouth filled in there by Clutterbuck. And Halak stops that shot from Malhotra. Evelyn. Martin. Up there after it. Martin. Cizikas. Evelyn. Just fires the puck in.
Bailey on the ice, off the ice, almost again, too many men.
They've only got 4 guys on the ice. Now they've got a 5th. It's twice in this game.
They're fatigued. Physically, mentally, they got no emotion left in their game and run out of the gas here as this game has worn on.
Tavares. Here's Weiss. Straight. Hickey. Weiss gets there. Bailey up. Opozo. Bailey. Down to Opozo. He's got Tavares in front. And Bailey. And broken up by Markov. Feathers it up there. Plekanec with Pacioretty. Plekanec scores.
to get him out of the net.
Yeah, and Capuano pointing across the ice. Chad Johnson coming in, but my goodness, some nice finishes for the Montreal Canadiens. Look at him, 5 men down low, and then getting a foot race at Toss Mechanics. You know he's thinking about, how am I going to get the patch ready? How am I going to get the patch ready? Craig knows it too, gives up basically the short side breakaway, and he goes backhand, quickly to his forehand, create the angle, and right under the bar. And everybody getting healthy and confident for the Montreal Canadiens on a beautiful finish.
Well, I can tell you that Halak was not too happy when he left the ice. Johnson getting ready to get out of my way. I'm making my way to the locker room. The Shane shows will be in full force for Halak 6 minutes before this game is supposed to end. A 4-point game for Mechanics, his 6th of his career. But that goal, Mike, he's deep, he's down early. Mechanics just puts it to a spot in the net, similar to what Desharnais did.
And you will have noticed, but worth pointing out for those of you who may not have picked up on it before, it's unusual here in Montreal. The backup goalie doesn't sit with the team over on the bench. He's opposite the team, sitting at the entranceway on and off the ice to the visitors' dressing room. And that is where you saw Halak going off and Chad Johnson coming in.
Not a typical game for Halak. He's played once back-to-back this season, and it was a win against Tampa Bay, a tough opponent. But to me, in warm-up, he just didn't look right off the bat. And that being said, he is the goaltender that is the first to get his team to 30 wins.
Kuhlman, he just fired one wide, going high glove.
And the numbers do say you should change goalies in back-to-backs because you give yourself a higher percentage chance to win. They elect not to tonight.
Oh, and Lee. The rookie Anders Lee with a laser. And he now has 7 goals in his last 14 games.
Wow. That came out of nowhere. Anders Lee, simple one-on-one, not a ton of speed, not much going on. And Dustin Tokarski, nothing to think about, and that is just cleanly beat. Over the shoulder at Dustin Tokarski, another one, glove side on Tokarski, and Beaulieu trying to block that shot, and maybe catches a piece of his ankle.
It was deflected.
Yeah,
for sure.
Tokarski looked fooled, like he was fooled badly by Beaulieu's tip on that Lee shot. There's no reason that should ever go in on an NHL goalie from that distance.
Lee gets the goal from Strome. Lee is 5th in rookie goal scoring with 12 after that snipe. 6-3 the score.
Welcome back. The countdown is on. It's going to be a lot of fun. 6 days from now, it all gets going. The 2015 NHL All-Star events beginning on Friday. We got the All-Star Fantasy Draft, 8 p.m. on Sportsnet. Of course, the game goes on Sunday. Wonder who will be taken first overall. It will be very fun to catch that next weekend in Columbus. Guys?
Zegmas Girgensons, of course. 1,000,008 votes. How could you not take him first overall?
Starting lineup, gotta be. John Tavares will be there, Yaroslav Halak.
How does a guy with 6 goals make the All-Star team? I'm just saying.
Interesting will be if Carey Price can't go, Montreal will have nobody there. Except for Yuri Seacatch and the rookie component.
Boychuk fires one up. All-Star game, you got to kind of check the hockey aspect. It's a celebration of the game.
So I say we celebrated with Fleury then as the replacement for Price. How about that?
Hooking penalty coming up. 3 goals in 3 minutes 34 seconds, by the way, guys. It's really been an entertaining one. 4:33 to go.
Manny Malhotra headed to the box. On the hook, and Islanders back to the power play. And he just gets caught on the wrong side. Trying to get back right there and gets into the hands of Frans Nielsen. It's not Nielsen going down, it's the hook when he's trying to shoot the puck. And so Manny Malhotra in the box, and Manny Malhotra would usually be out here taking the face-off as well, so
north of 80%. How do you win that many draws against this many good center ice?
And he does it all the time. He's averaging over 60 for the year, so for him to go for a game 70, 75%, is not that rare. It's amazing what he does. Takes all the defensive zone face-offs, gets the puck out of the zone, gets off the ice, helps kill penalties, and kill off the end of games.
Islanders 0 for 2 in the power play. 4 shots on their last man advantage. Tavares gets it in, and that is grabbed and held by Tokarski. Coming up after the game, Sportsnet Central with a look at a busy day in hockey with a preview. Here's Brendan Dunlop and Martine Geyer.
What a period. Yes, busy night. We'll tell you about it at 10 o'clock, 12 NHL games on the ice.
A huge night for Rob Blake. He's having his jersey retired by the LA Kings. We'll take you to the Staples Center for that ceremony.
So lots to talk about, lots to review in a busy day in the NHL. Prust.
5 forwards out here for New York Islanders, so not worried about any defense.
Well, they get one here, they have a chance. Then you're going to see a Montreal team with a little bit of panic in their game.
Just wonder they don't pull Johnson to the 6-on-4.
Here's Strome. Lets it go to Barris. He's cruising menacingly towards the slot. He's got it now. Nielsen. Tavares. Nielsen shoots. Rose a little too sharply. Tavares thumped by Prust. Nielsen. Opozo. Nielsen dishes off. Here's Tavares. Opozo over to Tavares, one-timer. That was the play. Nielsen. And a one-timer there from Opozo. Hops up around but not out. Good power play pressure. Tavares. Blocked. Another chance. That was in. That's a goal.
Bounce it around in behind Tokarski, and referee Kyle Raymond was right on it. And
there's no doubt the initial shot was in.
He wasn't going to blow it down either way, giving it a chance to go in. And you see off Tokarski, off his pad, and does it cut it over? Oh, it's so close. And then it's swept out back into Subban skates, and then finally, clearly over the line. And Toronto won't have any trouble trying to figure out if that one went in or not. But good patience by Raymond, the referee, right on the spot, not blowing it down early, as we've seen in recent times. And well, you talked about it, all of a sudden a 2-goal game, 2.5 left, and Chad Johnson will be on his way to the bench shortly. Play is going to be under review, so they can verify for sure. I don't know why.
That is a power play goal, by the way. 1 second to go on the advantage.
The referee could not have been in better position, even if he was standing on the puck. And he was right on the back of the net.
Yeah.
Really good job by the official. What stood out to me, though, guys, just how quiet this building was on that penalty kill. From ice level, all you could hear was the smack of the puck on the sticks. And I thought, shouldn't this crowd be getting into this a little bit? It's such an educated crowd. They know this goes to 6-4 with 2:34 left. This thing's not over yet.
Well, Glenn, I believe you used the word panic when discussing whether or not or if the Islanders scored.
After video review, the play on the ice stands. It's a good goal.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tavares with his 20th goal of the season. Every year he's played in the NHL since he was drafted in 09. 20-plus goals.
So Johnson heads to the bench. And we welcome those of you who are watching St. Louis and Toronto. St. Louis winning that game 3-0, so the woeful road trip ends woefully for Toronto here in Montreal. 2:17 to go, and the Canadiens leading the New York Islanders. And the Islanders scoring on a power play just a few moments ago to close the gap just a little bit, and a timeout being called here. Timeout by the Islanders.
Doug Waite down on the whiteboard talking to his group of 6, and the game seems like it should be over by now. Montreal was up at one point by 3, by 4, and 2 late ones here by the Islanders to chip away, make things interesting with only 2:17 left. Yaroslav Halak was chased after the 6th Montreal goal. Chad Johnson jumped in and has not had much to do as this never say die group of New York Islanders trying to find a way to get a couple more in a couple minutes and get this game to overtime.
For me, the rule of thumb, 2-goal lead, everything down the ice for the empty net.
Absolutely.
You take an icing,
Yep.
that's okay.
That's not being selfish, that's being smart.
You got Plekanec and Manny Malhotra, so you're doing just fine in the face-off dot. But good move by Capuano. This Tavares line has been on for almost 4 straight minutes, it seems. With the power play, and then now 2:17 to finish. They're not coming off.
Well, empty net. And Islanders down by 2. Boychuk fired that one through. He was trying to tee it up for a tip there for Brock Nelson, who was parked right in front. Nelson with it now. Tavares shoots, and Nelson right there tried to redirect it. Nelson in deep. Nielsen back at the point. Nielsen with it here in front, trying to pivot and get the shot on goal was Leddy. That just missed.
He didn't know where it was. Landed on top of the net and just rolled over top. And Glenn, you just mentioned it. If you're up by 2, the puck on your stick, have a go. Don't be shy about it. It's right off the face-off. Thomas Plekanec gets the puck right here. If he wants, he can go right up the middle of the ice over Boychuk's head and take a crack at the empty net. Elects not to. And then 30 seconds later, they still have possession. Pacioretty turns it over. Just have a go and take your chances.
Strome, Bailey, all through lots of traffic, and it rose a little too sharply. Lee cuts down Subban, no penalty there. Hamonic fires one that gets away up into the netting, and 1:19 to go.
Good job collapsing down in the front of the net. Keep everything outside, even though the Islanders have had the bulk of the possession. And that shift lasted about 30 seconds, just long enough to rest that Tavares group. But look at everyone, 5 guys underneath the hash marks. That's how you defend 6-on-5. Make them shoot it through you and block shots.
See the body language, though, of Boychuk and Tavares. They're bent over, kneeling on their sticks. Tell they've had a lot of last part of this hockey game.
Eller. Subban. Press pulled down, and that's going to be a penalty.
It's going to be a goal.
That should be a goal. Absolutely. That's a goal for Prust. If it's he's in alone and it's an interference penalty with an empty net, and that's what Andrei Markov is trying to plead as Wes McCauley, Kyle Raymond get together. And Prust is in here. He's inside Franz Nielsen, and he's going to get a goal. And I think we're on the same page. That should have been a goal for Brandon Prust. Just a penalty for Franz Nielsen instead.
If he's not tripped,
he's going to score. Nielsen's diving at him.
He's not missing the empty net.
Either way, minute left. 2-goal advantage now to the power play should be enough to end the game for Montreal.
I think that pretty much all but pulls the blanket over the Islanders' comeback bid. Pacioretty. Montreal 2 for 3 in the power play. Subban drifted that one wide. Pacioretty. Plekanec with his 21st career 2-goal game tonight. Markov. Subban. So this will mark only the 2nd time this year that the Islanders have lost the second half of back-to-back games. It's their 8th set of back-to-backers, and they've won 6 of them. Prust. Pacioretty. Stopped by Chad Johnson.
In a game where Montreal scores 6, and Max Pacioretty on a 6-game goal-scoring streak has a great chance to extend it here with just 15 seconds left, and it looks like he will not get any tonight. Quick 2-on-1 and unselfishly for Brandon Prust puts it right in the wheelhouse. Another one you got to get up under the bar and you're likely to score. Looks like the goal streak comes to an end for Max Pacioretty.
But the point streak continues, and it's now at 7 games. He picked up an assist earlier tonight. Gallagher. Beaulieu. Final seconds. Job done for Montreal. 6-4.
It's a good win for the Montreal Canadiens. Backup goalie getting the start, playing against one of the best teams in the conference that's playing very well, and they needed some scoring throughout their lineup, and they got it. And a nice win, home ice, 6-4 for the Montreal Canadiens.
3 stars tonight. Thomas Plekanec, 2 goals, 2 assists. As I mentioned, the 21st career 2-goal game of Plekanec's career. Markov with 3 assists, star number 2. David Desharnais with 2 points is star number 3. 6-4 the final tonight. That's the story here in Montreal. Thanks, everybody. More to come on Hockey Night in Canada.